Here, Griffin.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome. This is the Grown Ups Table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you very much. Right now, I am so glad to be doing this show because this is a different show than we usually do, people. One of the things we usually do is Star Wars Day. We talk about Jedis, we talk about, the gunslingers like Han Solo. But this show is incredible because we're going to be talking about Revenge of the Fifth. Yes.
Revenge of the Fifth. It's the better day, damn it. It's where the real muscle dominates.
We're going to talk
those rebels, screw those Jedi. It's all about the bad guys on the 5th, and today is the 5th, and that's what we're talking about, the bad guys.
The bad guys today. And before we get started, I want to say, what's up, Ryan? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. And I want to say like and subscribe to our show on YouTube. The show will be up tomorrow, so go check it out because it'll technically be Revenge of the Sixth. We're going to make this day go all day for the rest of the year. Every day is Star Wars Day. But without further ado, let's bring out our special guest.
Who is it? Who is it?
Who is it? He's one of the funniest comedians in America. He has written for Comedy Central roasts. Please give it up for my good friend, Mr. Bill Arendelle, everybody. Come on, come on.
Hey, guys, what's happening?
Not much, Bill, not much. Thank you so much for joining us. This is so cool because it was about a year ago you joined us for Star Wars Day. And now we're doing Revenge of the Fifth, which I love this. This to me feels like a sequel. And it's going to be a Sith show, all right? I love it. Let's make this happen.
But how fitting that Bill joined us on one of our very first episodes that we streamed a year ago, and it was May the 4th be with you day. Now, a year later, Bill's back to celebrate Revenge of the Fifth. That's awesome. Thanks for being here, Bill.
Thank you.
Bill and I have been staying busy. We actually did a show out in 31 West, man. Bill crushed.
I heard about that. I heard Bill was on fire that night.
Yeah, well, the whole show was on. I mean, and Jesse was great. And I've only worked with Jesse a few times, but I enjoy it because he's just so happy to be there. And I used to be like you, way back, It's
You're not a tired, sad comedian yet.
Yeah. I mean, most of the comics I work with who've done it longer than I have, I'll just sit in the green room and do this. It's time for the show to start.
Like, is it time to go to bed yet?
Yeah. And Jesse's checking on social media. He's, doing everything. He's great.
I love life. Yeah. I'll tell anybody that sees you live, it's like watching a fucking masterclass in performance as well as in joke writing as well. Because your jokes are here's the thing. The one thing I have an issue with joke writing nowadays is that sometimes it can get too blubbery. It can get too much, too long to get to the punchline. Bill's delivery has always been quick, concise, fast. It just feels like you're boxing somebody in their prime. Just a right hook, and it's like, how many times did I just get hit? So, please, if anybody sees Bill Arendelle, if you see him at a show near you, make sure you pay attention and watch. It's a masterclass, as always.
Jesse,
thanks, Jesse.
What flavor of LaCroix are you drinking there, sir?
Tangerine.
Nice. Good flavor.
Yeah. It's the only water I get nowadays.
is LaCroix flavored water?
It's not good.
I'm too poor for LaCroix. I get the Walmart generic clear American canned water.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are trying to be healthy.
It's delicious.
My wife got fancy and bought me Stella Artois last week. So, man, I'm getting fancy over here. I need that gold rimmed glass to drink this out of.
Oh, man.
But we are here to talk about not just Star Wars, but the villains, the Empire, the Sith, Revenge of the Fifth. And we're really excited about it. I watched through the original trilogy yesterday in normal celebration. Today was an insane day, and I really couldn't have stuff in the background. But I like to watch Revenge of the Sith on the 5th because they rhyme, and that's where the naming convention came from. Even though I'm still overall somewhat disappointed with the film, through time, I have grown to appreciate parts of it better, but I still persist that they completely ruined the opportunity to show Darth Vader correctly becoming Darth Vader. I will still bitch and moan and complain to the day I die about shoehorning that whole thing into 15 minutes, but nonetheless, still satisfying film to watch. So
yeah, I feel the same way. At the time, I wasn't super into the prequels. I come to appreciate them more. And plus, with the Disney sequels being just a complete crap fest, it really had elevated the prequels. I mean, I love them now. I could fast forward through all the love story and the politics and just enjoy the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good. I'll watch the anytime.
You got to fast forward through that, all those fireplace scenes on Naboo and Attack of the Clones where Anakin's talking about being in agony and thinking about a 14-year-old and sand hurts and all that other shit.
Listen.
She's wearing that weird BDSM outfit at dinner.
Yeah.
You know? What the hell?
Dinner.
Listen,
Anakin's got a bag in his mouth.
Listen, I'll be the first to say that I'm wrong most of the time in life, but I love those scenes because it shows me no matter how powerful of a Sith Lord you are, you got no fucking date game. That's what you've done.
He doesn't need it, man. He could literally choke her out at any time. And so you don't need it. I mean, really? You don't want to go fuck? What about the implication? You could go down the same implication discussion that Dennis Reynolds did about the boat as you could with Anakin trying to get with Padme.
I understand.
Same exact context.
I understand you could do the implications comment with that instead of the boat. But it's like, I just love his lines, like how smooth he thinks he is. Because the thing is, he has a certain cockiness to him, but it's like nothing he should be cocky about. Like, I love the one scene where he's like talking to his master. Like, we all, guys, we talk about like beautiful chicks, and we're saying, like, you see her, man? Oh my God, she was all over me. And here's the best he can throw out. Master, she looks just as beautiful as she did in my dreams all these years. And Obi-Wan's like, what the hell did you just say? Like, how fucking creepy was that? Like,
gives him that look, which is great. Now, we don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about Vader, but I want to give Bill the final thought on just the whole Anakin in the prequels before we move forward with our favorite Sith Lords.
Well, I think Hayden Christensen, actually, I think he's great. And I think a lot of people give him shit for that. But and plus, it's not believe me, we're on the director is what I mean. The dialogue itself, though, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. You know, this isn't The Godfather you're watching. It's Star Wars. It doesn't need to be super over the top. But no, I thought he was great. And in fact, in Revenge of the Sith, I thought, definitely physically, he really put it off. I mean,
sure.
Menacing and I mean, it was just great.
All the physicality too. So, I mean, they trained hard. He and Ewan McGregor trained really hard for those movies. I
remember they got there like 3 months early and were training with Gillard for the final scene. 3 months before their shooting started.
Yep, and they got a head start on it, and it definitely shows because by the time they got the shooting, I mean, it looked great. I've not seen choreography really better than that, to be honest. I mean,
Sure.
So, okay, I agree. Bill, since you are our guest, you kick us off on who you think the greatest or your favorite Sith Lord is that's not Darth Vader, because we know we all love him, and let's talk about why.
Well, it's hard to pick just one. I guess when you're talking about the current, style of Sith, I think you have to go with the guy who kind of started it all, being Darth Bane, and the Rule of Two. Now, at first, when I heard about that, I thought, wow, this guy really likes the Steve Guttenberg vehicle. It Takes Two. It's a movie that came out in 1995, along with Ali Sheedy, I think. But
I don't know why I know this is Kirstie Alley. I know it's her.
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't. I was right before the show started. I'm like, is it the song? And I couldn't find the song, but I found the movie right away. I'm like, all right, Steve Guttenberg, it's perfect.
And that was definitely Kirstie Alley in Scientology. That wasn't pre-Scientology Kirstie Alley. So
yeah, that was pre a box of fudgesicles a day, Kirstie Alley.
Oh.
My God. Oh man. But Darth Bane, I'm glad you kind of jumped into that. But before, before we jump into Darth Bane, I just want to throw one thing up real fast, real thing, and then we're gonna get right back into Darth Bane. This is my buddy Dylan, everybody. All right, his favorite. That's his favorite Sith Lord. But I have to throw something out. He has one of the most badass Jedi cosplay ever. He put it up online, and it was amazing. Dylan, let us know if I can put it up online because up on here. Because dude, that was awesome. Like he actually looked like a badass. Like it looked like Disney Plus was gonna drop his fucking show, and I was gonna watch all 13 episodes. Fuck, it was good, man. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Dylan real fast. But anyways, Darth Bane. So the whole idea with the rule of two. So let's bring up that Bane. The rule of two. What now I know he believes that a Sith. Now, those who are not familiar with rule of two, so Jedis and Sith Lords have been fighting for so long. Eventually, Darth Bane came up with the rule that only 2 Sith Lords should exist at one time. It's the apprentice and the mentor. Okay, those are our apprenticee, whatever the words are. I don't read, but you know what I mean. Just 2 Sith Lords.
Well, it makes sense too. If you're going to embody the principles of a psychotic asshole, you only want 2. You don't want a whole room of them. You just want the 2.
That's true. That's true. Too many assholes makes the room stink. I totally agree on that. Now, but do you think that it creates it makes Sith Lords powerful? Because you think about you think about numbers. You think in numbers and droves and stuff like that. That makes a group, an army, powerful. But why do you think 2? Does that make them more powerful? Is there some secrecy to hiding in plain sight? Like, what do you guys think makes that such a significant rule in the Sith Lord?
I mean, I think it creates an unbroken chain of passing down knowledge from the master of the apprentice and so on and so forth. You learn everything before you did. Rather, as with the Jedi, there's 1,000 Jedi Knights. They've each got their own little thing going on at once with their apprentice, and it's not as focused or specialized as I think it would be a rule of 2.
I want to piggyback off what Bill said there because, Jesse, that aligns exactly what you and I were talking about before the show starts. And Bill, exactly where I was going is that it allows them to maintain the control of knowledge and ensure that knowledge isn't out there for everyone. It's only for these fucking guys. And when one of them die and the next one comes up, guess who's going to learn it? That guy, not these 25 people over here. So it allows them to take that and keep that contained and keep that for themselves so it doesn't spread all over. Whereas the Jedi is like, yeah, bring them in by the thousands. We'll teach them all everything. So it allows a degree of exclusivity, but it also keeps the power with the power. It's not about balancing the power like the Jedi is. It's about we are the power and none of else of you are. And we're going to fucking keep it. And it's going to stay in-house. So I think that's an interesting dynamic that's polar opposite to the Jedi. And I think that's good to contrast those two and why they're constantly feuding, because there's also ideology that they don't align with either. And look where that gets it. Sometimes it swings over to the Sith. Sometimes it swings over to the Jedi. But it's never an extreme on one. The Jedi aren't ever fully gone and the Sith aren't ever fully gone. So it just creates a really cool dynamic. I've always liked that.
It just to me always felt like it was one step short of the Highlander. Like there can only be 2, It's like
what a horrible ending to a great franchise. Anyway, that's a different show.
By the way, that now makes me wish Chris Lambert was.
What did I tell you on the model?
Bert Lambert.
No, Lambert.
I said Bear.
Lambert.
Okay, I wish Chris Lambert was a Jedi because I would watch the shit out of that.
Now I'm upset that we don't get that Clancy Brown Sith Master.
That would be incredible. And now that he's old, I think he would be even better if he showed up wearing the dark hood and he had that white beard that he has now. I would be dope as shit. Bring him into a movie.
That guy's intense. He's the great. He's the best.
Look how ruthless that fucker was in the second Pet Sematary movie that everybody hated. Not me. I loved
it either. I loved it too. But now he's at his clanciest. I definitely bring him on board.
I love it. He's at the clanciest. That's so great.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
But real quick, I just want to run through the comment section so we show some love to our amazing people out here. Thanks for the reasoning. Seth kept fighting each other, so the infighting made it so that there wasn't many of them. And also, I wanted to throw a quick shout out to my buddy for just how badass of a dude. This guy, like, I saw this and I was like, dude, this is just so damn good. If only we could just make him a Sith Lord. I'm kidding. We shouldn't make him a Sith Lord. But
are you showing his cosplay now? Okay.
Yeah. I just love
that looks great.
Doesn't he look badass? He has it right in the fucking eyes right there. I'm like, God damn. Fucking that's Dylan right there, man. It's that's my shout out to my buddy right there. So check it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I just had to show that out because, like, I love people. This is the one thing I love about Star Wars as a whole and holidays like this. They're just so much damn fun. See, I like these holidays way more than Christmas or anything because Christmas, there's so many obligatory things you got to do. This holiday, you can either do something or not do something and just still have fun. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I love when people get like that.
After the show, to celebrate Star Wars, this 2-day event, after the show, we're going to post a couple of pictures of some of our followers that do cosplay. So we'll put Dylan's cosplay back up on the page.
Oh, yeah.
And then our other friend, Ryan Hillsman, is just about finished with his smuggler cosplay. It looks great.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and we'll put both of those guys up after the show on our page. You can check out both of their cosplays. These guys are amazing cosplayers, and we want to see more from them and encourage the rest of you to do the same because it's a ton of fun. It's a great hobby.
Yeah. Now, let's go over to our next topic because right now it seems like the audience are driving the show, and I love it.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Well, let's talk about something that, is just the truth. Jar Jar was the best Sith. Let's just face it. He really was. Look, I think we're sitting on a good Jar Jar Binks Sith movie.
We're not. We're
not.
not.
We are?
No, we're not. That whole theory is stupid. Look, we get it. No one liked Jar Jar. Fine.
Okay.
Let's stop inventing stupid conspiracies and shit around it. The character sucked. He's annoying. Blah, blah, blah. Let's move on. Okay? This movie came out 22 years ago. It's time to move past the hatred of Jar Jar, even though he sucks.
You can pull off that kind of idea with the usual suspects and Kevin Spacey.
That's what I was thinking.
Jar Jar is no Kaiser Soze. He's just not.
That is hilarious, Bill.
It would have been shocking to see,
It would have. Like, they could drop, like, a Star Wars mug, whatever Star Wars people drink out of, that just falls slow-mo to the ground. And then it has, like, the Imperial logo on the bottom, like it's their brand or whatever.
Dude, Bill,
like
I can't even tell you.
In the Imperial logo.
Bill, I can't even tell you. That's the exact thought I was having.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Thought. Like, just imagine he's walking away and he's doing that, like, weird little
walk. The walk.
And then he starts walking.
Like, starts being all confident and shit. Yeah, right. Pulls out a death stick, lights it up.
He jumps in the car with one of those Jabba the Hutt blue bitches that dancing for him. Just drive off. Tell me that would not.
Oh, that's hilarious. Somebody needs to make a short, like, film spoof of that and put that on YouTube. That's hilarious.
That would be good. Yeah.
He's like, he has the Misa accent, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, no. Sith Lord.
Yeah, I know. It would be like, well, Misa, Sith Lord. Like, he would get all crazy and shit. You'd be like, whoa, this guy.
He's kind of fucking Flynn Flappers into like a man bun. Like,
yeah, dude, totally. Just done, ready to go.
He puts it in that same look that Sam Elliott had from Roadhouse.
Yes.
Deep doo-doo.
Yeah. That was all a ruse. He stepped in the poopy on purpose. It was staying in character.
See, like, I'm just saying, like, if it would have been a redemption arc. It would have been.
Well, what I love is it might even be, I don't know, it's one of the novelizations of one of the movies that happened after the prequels, where Jar Jar like dances on the street for kids as and all the adults hate him because he's and because he's the one who made Palpatine the Emperor, basically.
He is. It's his fault.
Yeah, you want to talk to her like little kids,
so
you know, that stranger danger thing going on with Jar Jar, he's doing balloon animals and everything.
Dude, he's the John Wayne Gacy of the Star Wars galaxy. That's exactly what he is. Go check that underwater city. There are bodies all over the place. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I just always love watching that scene. They're like, what do we do? Oh, if only we had somebody to step up and vote him to be the Supreme Chancellor.
Right.
And then you see him do that weird thinky thing.
Like you don't know if he's taking a shit or if he's thinking or maybe both. I don't know.
They're like, I just wish they'd been like, and how dare you use your mind tricks on Jar Jar Binks? And he's like, I didn't use mind tricks on Jar Jar Binks. He's a fucking idiot. Like, I didn't have to do that one. He kind of did it on his own. But yeah, Jar Jar Binks, that's always a fun one to joke around being a Sith Lord. Let's jump on to this other topic that Dylan brought up. I thought was very interesting. The idea of we need a Star Wars movie just about the Sith. And I think this hasn't been done. This would totally bring fresh money back to the theater. Because look at it like this. You know, Star Wars, they just kept punching you with the fucking Jedi story. Then Jon Favreau came out with The Mandalorian. Boom! There's your money. And then Disney randomly, they decided, hey, let's do a movie about the Bad Batch of clones or the TV show. Boom! More money right there. I think this is the way to go. What are your guys' thoughts?
So, okay. So I do agree that we haven't gotten this before. Now, if anybody has played the Old Republic PC MMO RPG game, they go into a lot of Sith history, but it's still after the Sith is well established for many millennia. There hasn't, to my knowledge, and out there, look, I know there are fans that are way smarter than me. If this has been covered, please comment either YouTube or here. But to my knowledge, there hasn't been a full-fledged, flushed-out, exclusive contained story about the origins of the Sith, exclusively about the Sith. And I would love to see that because you're right. You're absolutely right. We know about it, but we don't know about it because you never fucking show us. It's all exposition bullshit. So show it to me. Bill, what are your thoughts?
It's Bill, but he said Phil, right?
No, he said Bill.
Bill.
Oh, jeez, my hearing aids.
You think I'd call you Phil? Come on.
I thought you said Phil. Well, I got a pizza the other day, and they wrote Phil on the box, and I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. Close
enough. The rest of the show, we're just going to keep rhyming your name with stuff. All right, Bill?
Yeah. I didn't even check if it was the right pizza. I'm like, that's close enough. I'll take it.
I'll take it. It's good enough.
No, I agree with that statement about the Sith movie, and I would love to see more, maybe even animated tellings of movies. Because I would love to see sort of a what if of if Darth Vader had turned Luke to the dark side. Even just a 30-minute thing. Anakin never turned to begin with. There's so many different possibilities just within that immediate cinematic universe, to say nothing of the thousands and thousands of years before. I mean, I played the old Knights of the Old Republic, core on, I don't know, it might have been the first Xbox, maybe.
Oh, hell yeah, that's where it launched. Oh, fantastic game. Oh, my God.
You could easily do something with that. And people talk about Darth Revan all the time, and how Keanu Reeves would be a great Darth Revan. Picture him like he is in John Wick, with the hair and all that.
That was going to be my Sith Lord that I picked, that I thought was the best. So I totally agree with you, Bill. Absolutely, hands down, 100% agree with you. I love that you love Knights of the Old. Fantastic game. I love dominating Pazak in the bar and just pissing people off and taking their money, which is great.
You just do a bunch of petty shit. I love it.
Once it clicks for you on how to play Pazak, like, you could just dominate, but you got to have the right cards. If you don't buy the right cards, you're going to lose every time.
I want to put something out there real quickly. What I want is a video game, Grand Theft Auto, but in a galaxy far, far away.
Sure.
And you either get to pick, you're a Mandalorian, you're either a Jedi or Sith Lord. You get to pick your character and you go through it. How fun would that be?
That'd be amazing.
thought of lower levels of Coruscant.
Yes, as long as we can go into the red light district with all of the Coruscant hose and the death sticks.
Yeah.
Like, what does
just
the Coruscant look like? Like, that's what. Yeah, is there a hooker that's smoking out of her trach hole, like the death stick, like down in the bottoms of Coruscant? Like, I want to see the real Coruscant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of the proverbial fluff and the propaganda Coruscant that keeps showing us. I want to see the real shit.
You know who would show you the real shit? You know who would show you the real shit? Dexter, the fucking chef from
Dude, well, you know he's into some shit. He's got hose on the side. You know it, man. You know
I was just about to say that I would probably work at the Dexter, that's whatever the hell that guy's name is, that diner, that greasy spoon that Obi-Wan frequents for some reason. Yeah, it was like Dexter, or I mean,
something
these
like
names.
That.
I mean, gee, you can blame anyone for being a bad actor. They don't, like I said, they don't roll off.
He's like, look at it. He's just smoking a cigar. I'm Dexter by day and I'm Sexter by night. And he just fucking walks around like.
So his name is Dexter Jettster, Jettster. So
you can tell by looking at the guy. He didn't give a fuck about health coach. Just not even a little.
No, dude.
There's no washing hands at all.
The Imperial health inspectors show up to that diner. He's running out the back and never coming back. Open a new one later. Like I don't know what it takes to open a business license in the the Imperial controlled Republic, but
it's like literally. Those I don't know what you call them, that meme where they show something happen in Star Wars going the other way, then it's just the credits. There was
I love
where Obi-Wan says that Dexter, do you recognize him? And he goes, nope. And then it's just there's the credits.
I love that.
It's great. Yeah.
So let's get back to our villains. So I love the idea of the Sith Lord movie. I would be okay with that taking place in the beginning, middle, present. Dude, whatever. Mm-hmm. Make the movie. I'll fucking support it any day.
Oh, here's a good comment regarding that. Sith Lord would be awesome. However, we would need a trilogy, if not more.
I'm so glad he's watching.
There's way too much origin. Also, I'm a dark side supporter, so animated series like Rebels would work better. Would cover more. Yeah, I agree with that. Would cover more ground.
Yeah, right.
Michael, thank you for commenting. Michael's one of my buddies. He's a huge Star Wars fan. Michael, I don't disagree with you, and this is for you too, Bill, because you mentioned possibly like an animated series. What if we did something like Halo Legends or The Animatrix, where we had 6 or 7 short stories done by different artists, different directors that tell different micro stories, but all kind of still fundamentally fit together? What would you think about something like that?
Like an anthology series?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be
I would love that.
I might be just being
the more the better. I'd love to get a trilogy, but even just, I don't know, smaller ones, like you said, like an anthology series. Or to compare it to Marvel, I love the What If comics. It's just a single story, went the other way, something like that.
I love that. I love that idea. Those are fantastic ideas and would allow us to get more exposure to different Sith Lords and different lore of the Sith and things like that. Jesse, I know you're begging to make a comment. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say whatever gets us more. Basically, you've all been taking the words right out of my mouth, so I agree. So
okay. So we want to transition to our next topic?
Yes. Why don't we do that right now? And real quick, everybody, I just want everybody to continue to do this before we move forward. Make sure you comment your favorite Sith Lord. I want to know what it is. I want to know what's going on. But let's talk. So let's talk about our next topic, and specifically John's picks, Imperial officers. I mean, what is a Sith Lord if not having a good right-hand man to his right-hand man
in the Navy? That's just what keeps coming to my mind. Like anytime I see the bridge shot of like a super Star Destroyer or a Star Destroyer or whatever, I just keep thinking in the Navy. So we have 3 fantastic examples of Imperial officers, and these are career Imperial officers. We've got Admiral Ozzel, we've got Captain, who then becomes Admiral Piet, and then we've got General Veers. And all of these 3 men, have certain careers in the Imperial Navy. I want to start with General Veers, because General Veers should fucking already be an admiral. You want to know why? He doesn't mouth off to Vader. He never fails. He's cross-trained. He's not afraid to deliver information to Vader, and he does everything Vader says. He is literally the model naval Imperial officer. And because of that, he's successful. He fucking blew up the shield generator on Hoth like it was no big deal. He was like, go ahead and start your landing. I got this. Done. Out of here. Vader loves Veers. Veers is like Vader's dude, okay? Then we have the complete loss, Admiral Ozzel. Okay, so first of all, his name is Kendall. Kendall Ozzel is this man's name. And when you put that name together, that man with that mustache, like he was really trying to be Magnum PI at that time. So I get it. I understand. But Admiral Ozzel is completely and utterly worthless. This is a man who has failed upward his entire career. Bill knows what I'm talking about when I use the word fail upward at the previous place we used to work together.
Oh, God.
So, look, check this out. So Ozzel's born from this really rich family. He buys his way into school, you know, like Lori Loughlin and all them. He buys his way into the Naval Academy. And then once he's in the Naval Academy, he's a loaf. He doesn't do shit, but he still keeps getting promoted upward. So finally we get to the point where we're at the Battle of Yavin. And the Imperial Navy is like, look, we need to appoint an admiral to be an admiral of the Superstar Destroyer, the Excluder. And they're like, who can we get to do this? And they're like, well, let's get Ozzel to do it because he's so fucking stupid. There's no way he's going to challenge Vader. Oh, horrible mistake. Absolutely horrible mistake. So Vader hates Ozzel because Ozzel doesn't care about finding Luke. He doesn't think the rebels are a threat. He just wants to be a yes man for the Navy. And Vader fucking hates that. And then when Luke escapes the Yavin 4 assault, Ozzel's just like, and Vader's like, dude, one more thing from you and you're done. So what happens is that when they're then trying to find the rebel base and they find it on Hoth, they find that shield generator, Piet also hates Ozzel, and he knows that Vader is one step away from choking that bastard out. Piet sets up Ozzel. And he's like, hey, come here and check this out. And he lets Ozzel see the shield generator because he knows Ozzel wants to take the credit, even though Piet's the one that found it. So that's why Ozzel's like, oh, this is no big deal. There could be settlers, da-da-da. Vader walks right up. He's like, that's it. And then Ozzel's like, no. He's like, that's fucking it. End of discussion. So he's already ready to kill him right there. Meanwhile, Piet's in the background like, yes, my time is coming. So then Veers comes in.
And you're forgetting that scathing look that he gives Pete as he walks away.
So he knows what's going to happen. So then Veers goes in because he knows Ozzel doesn't give a shit. So he's going to come out of hyperdrive and get detected. He already knows this. Veers goes and tells Vader. Vader's totally cool with Veers. He could have choked out Veers, but he didn't because he likes him. You can tell he likes him. And he's just like, Veers even tries to make an excuse for Ozzel, and Vader's just like, no, he's clumsy and stupid, and then he chokes him out. And when he chokes him out, Piet's side-eyeing him the whole time, like, yep. And then Piet gets his promotion, and he does a bang-up job. He's like the best Imperial naval officer until he gets killed in Return of the Jedi because crazy guy flew his ship into the bridge after the shield was down. So these are amazing naval officers. Veers and Piet, career naval officers by the book. They did it. They deserve everything. Ozzel, this motherfucker just bought his way into everything, didn't do shit, failed upward, and then got choked out by Vader, all because he supported Emperor Palpatine when other people were still on the fence. You know who that sounds like? He was a goddamn Trump supporter. That's who fucking Ozzel was.
I'll say this, Imperial Navy is probably the only fictional organization that is worse at vetting employees than Hogwarts.
Oh my God. That's so great. That is so great.
Because Hogwarts, you turn into a werewolf and eat children once a month? Yeah, we'll bring you on a couple days a week. Why not?
Which is true.
I almost spit my beer out. That was hilarious.
Listen, I don't want to get into my whole rant about why Hogwarts why Dumbledore ran Hogwarts into the ground, but we'll talk about that another time. You're on the fucking
all Dumbledore's fault, man. Everybody knows that. It's his fault.
There's a lot of it his fault. But anyways, yeah, no, these Imperial officers, man, like that's the one thing that's great about the Imperial officers is watch it. It's like for me when I watched these three, it was kind of like a Three Stooges act, and I was like, all right. But like Mo was Darth Vader.
It is like the Three Stooges. Then you had poor Captain Nita, who was doing everything right. And then Han Solo decides at the 11th hour, hey, I'm going to do the special trick where I attach to the back and they won't know where we are. So they disappear from radar, and he's like, oh, well, I'll go apologize to Vader. It's not his fault. How did he decide to take one for the team? He was perfect. They were about to capture them. And Han Solo thought of some 11th hour move, and they thought he went into hyperspace. That's not Nita's fault, but yet he takes the choke for it? Are you kidding me? There had to be some petty officer there, like a fucking janitor, that could have taken the choking instead of Nita. But nope, Nita had to go out, and I had never understood that.
You know, when you mentioned the maneuver of, sticking into the back of the ship, something Vader says, I thought of it the other day. I sneezed. That is one of the things that snuck up on me. And, you try to get your hand up and something came out. We know that. I don't know where it went. So like Vader, I'm like, look for every known trajectory of where it could possibly land.
Yep.
And I just imagine this green Millennium Falcon just sticking to like the back or my dog or something. I never did find it, so who knows?
You'll find it in a couple of weeks, Bill. Now, you brought up an interesting point, too, there, where they're like, okay, we've got to track them and talk about all possible, exits and things. And then he brings on the bounty hunters. And boy, oh boy, did that piss off the naval officers. And I think that was Vader's way of telling them, hey, you all failed. I could literally kill every one of you right now. But I'm not going to do it. We're going to outsource. That's going to chap your ass even more that I'm paying a third-party person to do the job that you couldn't do. Like, if you were Admiral Piet and that happened under your command, dude, you would flip a fucking bitch switch. Like, there's no way he'd just be like, oh, we don't need their scum. No, dude, he's plotting with other Imperial officers to kill all those bounty hunters because they don't need that shit.
It's bad for business. Bad for
business. Exactly.
It is. Eventually, they go. They're hired. They get hired on. They're on staff now. They're making you look bad because you can't do the cool little gunsling shit.
Oh, dude. So this brings up a great point. Why don't we do a sitcom style of the naval officers on a Star Destroyer? And then the season finale can be how Piet manipulates Ozzel to get him killed and assumes command. That's a perfect season 1 finale.
That could be their lower decks.
Yes, exactly. Just like what Star Trek did with Lower Decks. Only do that with Imperial officers.
I thought you said a Sith com, and I was like, ooh, I would like that. Vader and Palpatine are roommates.
Like they're skipping, holding hands, like feeding each other ice cream and shit.
Vader's a clean freak, and Palpatine is just shit everywhere.
They have to constantly have house meetings about cleaning up after themselves.
And there are these lists everywhere of what to do.
This is my shelf on the fridge, and I notice you put your yogurt on there, and so I ate it. Sorry about that. Make sure you put it on your shelf tomorrow.
This leftover chicken clearly says ups on it.
You've got porg on a stick in there that nobody's willing to claim because it's definitely expired, been in there far too long.
Who's using my back to...
That's my body soil in there, right? And you jumped in that tank. Why did you do that?
They're playing hide and seek, and Palpatine all he has to do is listen for the...
Like, I know where you're hiding, right? Like, damn it! Found me again.
Palpatine's always sleeping on the couch and everything, monopolizing the TV.
Palpatine's always got some friends staying over that drive Vader nuts, so they have to have a meeting about how he doesn't like his friends and doesn't want them to come over anymore. They always drink our beer and never replace it. I don't want them coming over here anymore.
He's like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places when they put him in that nice house. He's like, who's been putting out their clothes on my floor?
For me, I would love to watch a Palpatine show because I see the guy who played Palpatine. I liked him, but also he was the worst kept secret in the prequel trilogy. I mean, outside the fact it's the same actor,
Right.
For those who didn't know it was the same actor, you could just see their chins. They have the most distinct chin.
And the way he talks about being more powerful.
No.
His bony fucking finger.
No. I just love.
Palpatine is really a cautionary story about not giving your kid a dumb first name.
What is it, like Sheev or Sheev? Sheev, yeah.
Sheev.
Sheev Palpatine. Like, what the hell?
He looks more like a Larry to me, but
he looks like a Larry. This is Leonard Palpatine.
How you doing, Frank? Frank Palpatine.
Frank Palpatine, like Frank Stallone.
Right.
That's the funny thing about Star Wars. Everybody has a fancy ass name. Like everybody's name is really like even though Han is in other countries Han, but like still like that's pretty. You don't hear that often, but I just like how Anakin's fucking cousin or stepbrother, his name's Lars or something like that.
Lars. Krieg Lars.
Krieg Lars.
Yeah,
it's like Lars.
That's his brother. That's his
and it makes sense. Like they live pretty much in a non-mobile trailer park home.
Now before he becomes the apprentice, he slaughters his family on that spaceship. I can just hope that he kept saying, "I hate the name Sheev. Why did you name me Sheev? Slaughter.
Why did you name me this?" Now, speaking of the original trilogy and villains and Sith, we've left out Christopher Lee. Poor Christopher Lee is Count Dooku. And look, make fun of the character all you want. Dude was like 90 years old and doing fucking front flips. Okay, badass.
Yeah.
Had the crooked hilt cane saber, badass. I was actually pissed that he went out so early in Episode 3. That was my dude. I love Dooku, and when I play Battlefront 2, I play as Dooku whenever I can because he's badass, man.
Dooku's awesome, and I read the reason why he has the curved handle. Christopher Lee is a direct descendant of Charlemagne. Charlemagne's sword had the same handle, the curved handle like that.
Ah, because Christopher Lee has tons of sword fighting on film experience, and that was one of the advantages to him playing Dooku. But I never knew that.
That's very interesting.
I thought that was just a production choice. Okay,
if you ever get a chance, read up on Lee. I mean, the guy was just.
Oh, the dude was a phenomenal actor.
He was a post World War II Nazi hunter, and he put like a metal album in the 90s. I mean, the guy's just.
Just badass.
From beginning to end.
He corrected Peter Jackson while he was directing on how a man should sound when they get stabbed and dying. That's not a way a man dies.
Look, like, when Peter Jackson was doing those Hobbit movies, the best movies he made before that were like Bad Taste and Dead Alive. So I can understand Christopher Lee pulling him aside like, bro, this is a real movie now. There's some things you need to understand. Like
At that point, Peter Jackson should have said, "Hey, make sure I'm not in a room alone with Christopher Lee at any point filming."
But let's go back to Dooku. He went off. He was a very interesting villain. I mean, he was Sidious's apprentice until he got killed off and then he replaced.
But the interesting thing about him is that he believed in the separatist movement, but I'm not convinced he believed in the Galactic Empire vision. So if he knew what the end goal was, he would have never joined the separatists. Now, I'm not saying he would have backed the Republic either, but there's no fucking way he would have worked for Sidious if he knew what was coming. So he got manipulated and played just like everybody else did.
I agree with you.
When that happened, you knew he got manipulated.
Hey, hold on, Jesse. Bill was going to say
something. No, go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's all I was going to say. Like, you knew he got manipulated when Anakin had him.
Yeah, right.
Good.
I did read somewhere that Dooku was xenophobic. In other words, he hated non-humans like that were in the Jedi Order and everything.
Interesting.
But I mean, there was so much story that they could have explored with him, just him alone, which kind of makes you even more upset at the first movie, because the first movie should have been the second movie. That should have been the second one, the second movie, and then him hunting people down and killing them. That should have been the third movie. That's what we wanted.
You bring up a good point, Bill, about him being xenophobic against other races. And if you notice, how many aliens are in the Galactic Empire or employed by them? Because I see zero.
Right.
Literally zero. So what the fuck is up the Empire's at?
Wait.
They're only hiring humanoids.
Grievous was an affirmative action hire. I just want to throw that
well,
one
that's
out there.
before. We're talking about original trilogy now. We're talking like Yavin, Hoth, Endor type shit. There were no aliens on those bridges. There were no aliens piloting those ships. So what the hell, Empire? Exactly.
They were like space Nazis. I mean, everyone was white guy. You didn't see any women around there at all, at least in the original trilogy.
Ryan called us in the comments. Throw that last comment up from Ryan. He's absolutely correct.
Wait, Thrawn?
Yep. So you're absolutely right, Ryan. But here's the travesty. We never see Thrawn on camera in the original trilogy. We don't need to get exposition. Now, I know he technically wasn't created until after, but Thrawn was a big part of the Battle of Yavin and then the escape from Yavin, which he and Vader were tied up together. And then that's when Ozzel was trying to work his bullshit in there. He was trying to get up on Thrawn, and Thrawn's like, fuck this guy. Like, it's me and Vader. Who the fuck are you? Go back over there, you know? So Ryan's absolutely correct. But again, we don't see that, unfortunately, in the trilogy. So that just struck me as another thing with the Empire, is they're like, well, fuck all these people. We're just going to take who we want and still dominate, and fuck what you all think.
First Order was more about diversity. I mean, you know, you got the black guy there, you got the women, and I'm sure it had
Absolutely.
Just enough. Like the place we used to work at, it was just diverse enough. I'll say that.
To where they, 1, 2, 3, we're good. Get off our back. Like, no, man, we can tell you're counting. It shouldn't be a counting thing. And I think that's one thing that appealed to the Rebel Alliance and the good guys, if you will, is you notice more camaraderie, more diversity, more inclusion. Whereas with the Empire, it's just fucking iron fist.
Listen, they had a diversity hire of someone of Yoda's race, but they're like, that fucking greenback speaking in riddles again. It's fucking good.
Whoa, we're going there.
Yeah, the rebellion definitely, or the good guys, I guess. They're different species. They're all working together. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing in the original trilogy.
Yep, I agree.
They were just a bunch of racist people. That's all. A bunch of racist.
I mean, it's the Galactic Empire. What do you expect, right?
Exactly. They didn't.
They were all bold colors too. Everything was, you know, black and red and white. You know, and you don't saw blue anywhere in the Death Star.
No, it's all what, like olive green, black, and like gray.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of that's very interesting with Sith Lords? You ever think it gets awkward when like the master notices their apprentice, like, you know, taking a shine to somebody new? Like, it gets awkward.
Oh.
Well, that was the whole thing.
Like the master's like, am I about to get killed off?
Well, I mean, but that was like the whole thing with Vader and his apprentice, which is what the Force Unleashed games were about, where Vader was basically sick of the Emperor's shit, and he's like, "No, I'm going to go start my own rule too over here."
Yeah, you know, I didn't read the Darth Plagueis novel that came out not long ago. I hear it's really good.
I haven't either.
But I wonder if there's a part in there where Sheev, why are you hanging out with that little kid so much? I'm getting like a Neverland Rand thing here. Just a little creepy.
Out on Naboo has the fair, the carnival rides, and for the zoo, the Imperial Zoo.
Sheev, I'm sorry, Larry. Why are you hanging out with Larry?
Oh shit, that is so funny. Neverland Ranch on the Star Destroyer. That's Sheev's area. Nobody goes in there but the kids and him. Oh man. All right, we're winding down on our time today, guys. So what do we want our final thoughts to be about Revenge of the Sith? What do we want to really leave our lasting impression on this day and the Sith and the bad guys and Star Wars? Like, where are we leaving this today?
I think I'm sorry, go on, Jesse.
No. You're the guest, man. I want to hear what you guys say.
I mean, I think with any story, no matter who the hero is, it all comes down to villain. If you don't have a villain, you don't have a good hero. If you don't have those, you don't have a good movie. Not to break away from Star Wars or anything, but the Dark Knight series of movies, I saw the first one once, I saw the third one once, and the second one I don't know 100 times because it's got such a great villain, and that's what you have with the Sith, especially Darth Vader and Palpatine, is that they're such good villains. It's what makes the story so. In a way, they're more important than the rebel side.
I agree. And also by not showing them and doing more exposition, it makes all of us want more. And then it causes us to think about the things that we've discussed today, which I do enjoy doing as well.
Yeah.
Jesse, what's your final thought?
My final thought is, like I said, the Sith Lords, I think by far have some of the most interesting storylines. And this is coming from somebody who, I know this is not popular, isn't a big fan of Jedis. You know what I mean? I think they're bland in how radical they are religiously.
I agree.
The Sith Lords, because they're evil, I welcome that radicalness because at least I know it's wrong. Like, this is something that's being praised. And I want to see the manipulations. I want to see people work in the rule too. I want to see someone calculating how I got to kill this person to get to this place, to this place, to this place. Because that was what was kind of interesting about Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Watching Sidious kind of manipulate Anakin. I love those scenes. Those scenes were very interesting. Like when he sits when they're like watching the random opera. Like,
oh, you mean the Bubble Show?
Yeah, they're watching the Don. I call it the opera show. We're watching Don Giovanni in space, and they're just sitting there like, I'm gonna tell you the story about Darth Plagueis.
Bill, what do you
and
got to throw?
And I look at that scene, and it's funny that he brought that up because they asked Ian McDiarmid, "Is there anything redeeming about Palpatine?" And he goes, "He likes the opera. No one who likes the opera can be all bad."
Interesting. I really like that talking point. That's interesting. Nobody can be that evil if they like the opera.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got a good question. Wait, John, you wrap up what you want to say, and then I'll put the comment.
So I know that we said that we weren't going to talk about Darth Vader, even though we talked about Darth Vader. But what I'm going to say is, look, the motherfucker is a badass because he's done what we've all wanted to do. All of us have been sitting in some fucking staff meeting where some jerk off is running his fucking mouth, and you just want to reach over there and slap the shit out of him because he's talking shit. You know he's wrong. You know you're right. Vader was just like, done. I'm going to choke your fucking ass out. He was done with that staff meeting. He didn't want to be there. He showed up late. He didn't sit down. He was just like, fuck this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to hear what you have to say. You shut the fuck up. And then that guy kept running his mouth. General, he's a short name. I think it starts with a V. I can't remember. And Vader chokes him. And then what happens in Empire Strikes Back? He chokes out like 3 naval officers. This man is every corporate entity's dream. Like, I want Darth Vader in my next staff meeting so I can just look at him and say, hey, you see that person? I've been putting up with their bullshit for 2 years. They're holding our business back. He'd be like, John, done. Choke him out. Like, where's that at? I want that.
There's no written warning. There's no
you don't get written up.
There's no HR department. There's no policy.
There's no side meetings about your attitude and everything.
No meetings about meetings. Like, it's just done. He just chokes you out and you're dead. And that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely was a badass. He was. I'm going to put 2 of these comments up real quick so we can get this. Because Palp Daddy, yeah, he was great. He manipulated everybody and played them like a fiddle. I totally agree with this. Now, Ryan brought up, Dylan brought up a really good question. I think is perfect for ending the show. I think it's just
a great God. I don't know if I'm prepared to answer that right now.
I know. I forget his name, but there was one Sith who was like a nice guy, like he didn't want to be evil anymore, so he just
Look at how Bill smiled
all
when
kinds-
he said that too.
yeah, he destroyed all kinds of like Sith holocron. He set them back hundreds of years. This guy who he was just like a nice guy, you know. He's like, we don't have to be complete dicks. We can just I forget his name. John's looking it up right now.
He's basically like the elf from Rudolph. I don't want to make any toys anymore.
Okay, so this list is really stupid, but we've got so actually the 15th one on this list is who I would have picked. It's from it's from the Old Republic, and he's actually my master right now in the game, Darth Barris. That guy is fucking worthless. He is fat and out of shape. He doesn't do shit. He has shitty armor. He's lazy. He makes everybody else do the work for him. He is like one of those like figureheads of the Catholic Church who just sit around and do nothing and just live off the public dole. That's what Darth Barris does, and he would be my pick for the weakest. I'm going to see if I can find yours real quick, though, Bill.
While you look, I'll give mine.
Darth Caedius?
Yes, that's it.
Is that it? Yeah.
But
He looks like Han Solo, man.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so mine's gonna be. I think it's biased. It's gonna be extremely biased.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna say it was Kylo Ren. All right, for me, here's the thing. I said it would be controversial. Did I not? I was on. Here's the thing. He couldn't even take a fucking hologram of Luke.
If I can that ever so briefly.
Go ahead, Bill. We'll end on
no-
this. Bill, you get the final thought.
You get the
tonight.
final word. I know mine's controversial. And I know that mine's wrong. I just don't like the character. I know that I'm wrong to a certain extent. Michael just did it. Look, Michael, I know I'm wrong.
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
I know I'm wrong.
and hate Kylo Ren. First of all, I can't believe they named him Ben. I mean, Han Solo knew Ben Kenobi about a half an hour before he died. I mean, I don't get that. But,
I gave him a ride, so I named my kid after him.
yeah, but people were kind of dissing the fact that Rey and Finn wounded him, and like, look, you already saw this guy take a laser crossbow bolt to the gut before the fight. Then he got hit several times with the lightsaber. On top of that, he was doing just fine. You know, the fighting style isn't as Vader's, but yeah, I mean, to me, he's not a true Sith, and he doesn't have the Darth. Snoke didn't have Darth, so they're dark side users, absolutely, and they're power ones, but they're not Sith per se. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, and I'm not even going to go on to how he handled his redemption and all that, but every single person
okay, I'm dead.
Yeah, when you saw that first trailer for The Force Awakens and he lit up that lightsaber with the crossguard, it was badass.
Oh, it was dope.
And I think he does great. I think Adam Driver does a great job. But I like and hate Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Kylo Ren, the actor, I think he's one of the most talented actors. Again, like I said, I admitted I was so wrong to not like his character. I know there's personal reasons blinding me. But just like any good Sith, all right? You allow your emotions to blind you, and I did that. So, but I agree with you, Bill. He's a phenomenal actor.
I mean, no one cares somebody named Ben. I mean, they're just not. So they change the name and all that too.
There you go.
I was just looking at this list right here as we go, and I found a new Sith Lord that I'm going to look up, Darth Krayt, because this man looks like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. So I'm already intrigued. I'm going to do a little bit of looking up on him because he looks bad fucking ass.
All right.
Jesse, why don't you close out this fantastic show for us this evening?
All right. I want to thank everybody for lighting it up in the comments section. I'm talking Ryan, Michael, Dylan, Tom. Let's see. Did everybody? Dylan. Everybody. You guys killed it. Thank you so much. We had a whole plan for the show, and you guys pretty much wrote 30% of it for today. So thank you guys so much. I want to thank Mr. Bill Arundel for joining us again today. Yes. And we're not going to wait for another Star Wars Day next year to have him back on. Obviously, we'll have him back on very soon.
Let's have Bill on our next comedy show.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah. Bill, we'll talk.
An in-person show or a virtual show?
Virtual.
We'll talk about it, Bill.
We'll talk about that too,
like
Bill.
The way,
it's
not like how usual shows do it. You'll see the format and be like, oh. But anyways, we'll talk off air about that. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. We'll be there tomorrow. Make sure you like our page on Facebook. And make sure you go check out Bill Arundel once he's out of goddamn Facebook jail. Bill, come on, stay in trouble.
He just can't stay away from 10 TV local news posts.
So I last time I got out of Facebook jail, I did really good with staying away from the news stories. And eventually I will read one and I'll read the comments and I call somebody a twit, not a twat, a twit. And Facebook says bullying. And I'm like, you clearly have never been bullied. I would love for someone to have called me a twit growing up. Give me a break. But anyway, it's stupid. I mean, not stupid, but it's not bullying. Come on.
We'll roll out the red carpet when you come back to Facebook, Bill. I
joined a new social media platform this week. It's called Slashers. It's a horror movie platform.
Interesting.
So, nice. So check that out. It's pretty cool. But anyways, that's all for us today. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. May the Force be with you and Revenge of the Sith. Take it easy.